Today on Judge Fave, Detroit ministers battle over an outstanding loan to cover wedding costs.
I'm praying, I'm like, Lord, what to do, what to do? I'm a woman of God, but I'm really street. Do I pray or do I get somebody to beat this man up?
She took my picture off my Facebook page and posted it and said, this man is a fake man of God, beware.
Because you found Jesus, but you found him recently, is what you're saying. So you still got 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
And later, current roommates that overcame challenging circumstances find themselves in court over an unpaid security deposit and cable bill.
Women's Shelters, a program for real change. There's women in there that have issues with more than just housing.
We were roommates the whole time. We were there.
I just want to say something to the two of you. That's the person who was there with you when you went through your lowest time in your life.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Lamara Harmon says she loaned the defendant money for his wedding. But so far, he has only paid her back with excuses. She's suing for a loan and pain and suffering. Defendant Ronnie Potts says he doesn't know because he was going to pay Lamara back until she defamed him on Facebook and he lost jobs. He's countersuing for defamation of character and lost wages. He's accompanied in court today by his wife, Camille Maxwell.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Harmon versus Potts.
Thank you, Juan. Lamara Harmon, you are suing the defendant, Ronnie Potts?
Yes, Your Honor.
For $2,900. $900 of that is for a loan and $2,000 for pain and suffering.
Correct, yes.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $1,500 for defamation of character and lost wages?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll start with you, Ms. Harmon. Tell me what happened here.
Well, I've been knowing Mr. Potts for approximately 2 years. We met on Facebook. He showed interest in me for quite some time, but I wasn't interested, so I chit-chat back a little while. Just kept it lightly, light conversation, hello, goodbye. And he just proceeded with how good I looked and how interested he was in me. Mm-hmm. So I just kept it as a friendly basis because that's the person I am. I've been in the church for over a year now. I'm going to be ordained next year to be a minister. He asked me to come to a church. He was going to be ministering that. Mm-hmm. So I went out and, you know, he didn't minister that day. I was wondering why he wasn't ministering, but I didn't get off into that.
So tell me, Mr. Potts, what's going on here? What is your background?
Your Honor, I am 32 years old. I've been preaching since I was 16. Mm-hmm. This November 27th, it'll be 17 years. Mm-hmm. I invited Ms. Harmon in June. I was scheduled to preach that night. Okay. That's my home church. I serve as an associate minister there.
What denomination are you?
Non-denomination.
Okay. At that time that you were not still trying to pursue her?
No.
She's just a friend of yours?
Correct.
Okay. $900 you say you claim is a loan, and then the $2,000 for pain and suffering. Let's talk about the loan.
Okay. August the 13th, Mr. Potts reached out. He said, my wedding is tomorrow, and I have no one to loan me any money, and my wedding is tomorrow, I can't get my suit. So being a person that I am, out the kindness of my heart, I said, what is it that you need help with? Mm-hmm. So
you didn't think it was odd that he was reaching out to you out of everyone else? You've only met him a couple of times, right?
Yes.
Why would he be reaching out to you and not his family members if he's getting ready to get married?
He said that his family members was against him getting married and they wasn't helpful. They wasn't very helpful.
Is that true?
That was partly true.
Why?
A lot of people in my family didn't agree with my choice. A lot of people in her family didn't agree. So it was literally the last minute. They was like, well, we can't do this, we can't do that.
So you reach out to her and ask her for money?
No, the conversation started exactly, word for word. I asked her to pray for me. And because then that was the type of relationship we had. We would talk every now and then, and it was more of a spiritual manner. She asked me what was going on, and I told her. I told her about the wedding issue. I told her about the money issue, and she offered to help.
How much was he asking for, ma'am?
He said, if you give me $450, I'll give you back $900 because they put a 72-hour hold on my check.
Is that what you said?
Yes, and that was the conversation.
How much money did you receive from her, sir?
$450.
$450. Have
On
you paid
August
any of
13th.
that money back?
No, ma'am.
And what is the reason?
I lost so much money dealing with this situation, with the whole stuff with Facebook.
How?
Because she took my picture off my Facebook page and posted it and said, "This man is a fake man of God. He ran off with my money. Don't trust him. Beware." And so I had.
How long had it been since you had received the $450?
It hadn't even been a week.
Why did you put him on blast on Facebook like that?
Because all his lies started to add up.
Like what?
First of all, 72 hours. He said 72 hours that they released the money. That was that Wednesday. He screenshotted account now. He said that he banked with Chase account. That's a prepaid debit card that he showed me. So now my spirit is eerie. I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, what to do? What to do? You know, this man that took my money, school time coming up. My transmission went out in my car, which was that Sunday. Saturday, I gave him the money. Sunday, my transmission go out. So now I'm in a bind. So he promised me the money. So by Wednesday, he didn't show with the money. My spirit is a little jumpy still because now I'm struggling I'm a woman of God, but I'm really street.
What did you? Okay.
So now I'm like stuck. I'm stuck. So now I'm emotionally stressed out. What do I do? Do I pray or do I get somebody to beat this man up? So I'm struggling at this point, Your Honor. I'm struggling.
So you found Jesus, but you found him recently, is what you're saying. So you still got one foot in and one foot out.
I need my money. I need my money.
Coming up, the ministers drop more details about the money dispute.
His wife. I said, hello, do you know about the money that your husband's supposed to give me? So she said, well, I don't know anything about it. So my spirit jumped again. Like, do I cuss her off?
And later, roommates argue over an unpaid security deposit and cable bill.
Half of the security deposit, you're on the lease. Why don't you pay that?
Why should I?
Plaintiff Lamara Harmon says Ronnie tested her faith by conning her for money. She's suing for a loan and pain and suffering. Defendant Ronnie Potts says he doesn't know because Lamara defamed him on Facebook, causing him to lose jobs. He's countersuing for defamation of character and lost wages.
His wife. She calls me back. She said, hello. I said, hello, do you know about the money that your husband's supposed to give me? Because she was there when I gave him the money. I gave her my blessings. I said, may y'all have a good wedding. It's your day tomorrow. I was so happy to give these people my money. So she said, well, I don't know anything about it. So my spirit jumped again. Like, do I cuss her out? Because now she in it. So what do I do? What do I do? Because I'm really about to come over there and get on her now because y'all playing games with me.
May I see the Facebook post?
No.
And ma'am, are you his wife?
Yes.
Can you stand up, please?
I
would like to see the Facebook.
Issue
Did you cuss him out on Facebook?
So when I exposed him on Facebook, I had got numerous of people reaching out to me saying, you are brave for doing what you're doing because Mr. Potts been stealing from the church for quite some time. And I got text messages. And Mr. Potts been stealing our purses. Mr. Potts is a crook. Mr. Potts don't even have a job. So now I'm really hurt.
When she put that stuff on Facebook, they were my rides. They stopped coming because they said that they believed her.
Here's what she wrote on Facebook. Please be aware of this man, pastor, ran off with my money and others. He come to people as a saved man, but took from me out of the kindness of my heart. And trusting the man of God, hoping and believing he would not do such a thing. The Lord sees and knows all. If you know him, pray for him. What's the defamation?
And I have more messages there where
Sir, this is your defamation claim. And you say this is the reason why you're not paying her? If I read this as a pastor, I would want to she would be the first person. Don't talk over me, Pastor. We're not in your church, we're in my courtroom. If I see this written on Facebook about me, and I know I owe her the money, she'd be the first stop I'd make to go and make this right. Now, I'm going to ask you, ma'am, what do you have to say about this?
I didn't like the part when she put this stuff on Facebook about him because by me being with him, I mean, that makes me look bad at the same time. And then she put threats on Facebook about sending people, her brothers, to my house. We have 9 kids at the house.
What specifically did she say about that?
She just said she was sending her brothers to our house, and she had nothing to do about it.
Did you say you were going to send your brothers over there?
I inboxed her. I said, you supposed to be a woman of God and you marrying this man. I said, woe to you. I said, shame on you. You knew you was there when I got her messages too. I said, you was there when I handed you guys the money. I said, my family is not pleased with this, and if my brothers come to your house, it's out of my hands. I'm safe, but my family is not. $450 was a lot of money. I'm a single mother of 2 children.
You wanted money. You contacted her asking her for prayer. And then that's when the whole discussion came in. You're using your relationship with God and your position as a pastor to ask people for money. Yes, you are. That's exactly what it looks like. Every single time we have a case like this, it ends up being she didn't want to come get it. As if you have it, but now this person is so upset. Now it's her responsibility to track you down to get her money? No. There's FedEx. There's the post office. You don't have to see her. You don't have to talk to her. You can send her a MoneyGram. There are many ways you can get her money if you really want to. But you're going to get it to her today. So judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. It's $900. That's the agreement you made. That's what you pay. $900 judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim is dismissed.
I learned not to trust every man or woman who say they're a man or woman of God and trust their word and trying to believe them on their faith.
I believe it was biased in a certain way. I don't believe she heard my side of the case at all. She just took Ms. Harmon's side and ran with it. So I believe that's what she felt was best. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
We're always interested in what you have to say about our cases. Write us with your thoughts or comments. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or my Instagram. I look forward to hearing from you.
Plaintiff Michelle Nicolette says the defendant is making excuses and refusing to pay her half of their security deposit. She's suing for a security deposit. Defendant Linda Brazil says she doesn't owe because Michelle didn't initially ask her for a deposit. She's countersuing for a cable bill and household payments.
Michelle Nicolette.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing the defendant Linda Brazil.
Yes, Your Honor.
For $300, half of a security deposit you say she owes you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are countersuing, ma'am, for $200 for a cable bill and household payments.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do the two of you currently live together?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, it's going to be interesting when you go back home after court. You'll have something to talk about. What's going on, Ms. Nicolette? How long have you lived with the defendant? How did you meet her?
I met Linda in 2014 at a women's shelter, a homeless shelter, and we were roommates the whole time. We were there. In 2016, the very beginning, she was looking for a place and I was looking for a roommate.
And you had a 2-bedroom?
2-bedroom, correct.
Okay, and so where were you living at the time?
At Unity House, which was another, it was not a program per se, but we still attended meetings and did things like that.
What kind of meetings?
AA.
AA meetings. Okay, so you were in rehab at the time.
Women's Shelters, a program for real change. So there's women and children in there, and there's women in there that have issues with more than just housing.
Got it. I understand. So you were not on the lease at the time. You were just a roommate.
Yes.
But there came a time where you did actually go to the landlord and have the defendant placed on the lease.
Yes. Well, what happened is I had gone to the landlord and let them know, first of all, that she had moved in because I didn't want to be in trouble and lose my apartment.
Right. Which, let me tell you, a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
I see these cases a lot, and they just move people in. It's like a revolving door in their apartments. They never tell anyone. So good for you for actually going to the landlord to do the right thing.
I didn't want to end up homeless again, so.
Right.
But the landlord, due to whatever issues Linda might have, wasn't willing to put her on the lease.
At that time?
I think it was credit reasons or whatever at that time. Well, eventually the management changed hands, and the new management was willing to put her on the lease.
Oh, okay. So you just let her live there. Never mind what I just said.
No, she paid rent. She paid rent.
Okay.
She paid rent for half of the bills.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the roommates disagree over the unpaid bills.
My thing is, if I'm giving you this money to pay the bills, then why didn't you pay the bill?
Plaintiff Michelle Nicolette says Linda is on the lease, so she should pay half the deposit. She's suing for a security deposit. Defendant Linda Brazil says Michelle didn't ask for a deposit when she moved into the apartment. She's countersuing for a cable bill and household payments.
Yep.
So now you are on the lease currently, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And you paid a $600 security deposit?
I did, myself.
And you want her now to pay $300 of that because she's on the lease?
Yes.
That seems reasonable.
But it is reasonable in her point of view. With me, when I moved in February, her son had stopped living there, and she did need a roommate. And he left in the middle of the month when I moved in February, so I gave him half of his rent money back. I didn't have to do that. But I didn't want to leave. You see what I'm saying?
What does that have to do with the security deposit?
Well, it has nothing to do with the security deposit, but I don't feel like I owed it.
That's why we're here. Let's talk about the security deposit. $300, half of the security deposit. You're on the lease. Why don't you pay that?
Why should I?
Because you live there and you're on the lease.
I just got on the lease.
You are a tenant, and you realize when you are a tenant somewhere, you pay a security deposit when you move in, so that if there are damages, if there are issues when you move out, the landlord can have something to hold you accountable. She's paid that full amount, but now you are on the lease. So my only question to you is, now that you're on the lease, why don't you feel you owe half of the security deposit?
She never told, okay, when I first moved in, she never said that I would have to pay the security deposit.
Okay, it kind of goes with the territory whenever you're put on a lease.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what's your counterclaim about for cable bill and household payments? $200.
We were splitting all the bills, like she said, and all the way up until August this month, when I went to pay my half of the cable, she's like, "Well, I owe 70 plus my share of the cable, so there's no way I can afford that." My thing is, if I'm giving you this money to pay the bills, then why didn't you pay the bill?
So the cable bill is outstanding, you paid it yourself?
It's outstanding, and I've been paying my half every month since I've been there.
But so you're saying she's behind on her half of the cable bill?
Something happened.
When she first moved in, I gave her a breakdown on what the bills would be broken down into. She informed me that she didn't want to pay that much for Comcast. So I said, well, I'm going to get rid of the Comcast then, and you won't have that bill. So I went ahead and I bought one of those pucks because I like my internet. I paid $88 for that puck. I had it hooked up. I let the Comcast go. The next month, she decides she wants it back. So I had invested $88 into this puck, which put me behind on the Comcast bills.
I can tell right now, you ladies like your TV.
Yep.
I did.
What's your show? What's your show? What's your show?
Huh?
What's your show? What show do you watch?
Judge Judy.
You see that? You see that? Judge for the plaintiff.
No, look. Listen, Judge Faye, Judge Judy, hot bitch.
Bad answer, Mr. No, I'm just kidding. Well,
Ma'am,
first of all,
have a seat, please.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
I just want to say something to the two of you because I know how difficult it is when you have been homeless and you're getting back on your feet at this point. And so I want to commend the two of you for being able to support yourselves now at this point in your lives, right? You met in 2014 in the shelter. You obviously formed a bond.
Yes.
I hate to see that the two of you are in court now, but I hope that you can go back to your apartments and work it out. Why are you crying, Miss Brazil?
What?
Why are you upset?
I'm not.
Yes, you are. But it's okay. I understand. Because you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. And it's been that woman that's been your roommate through it all. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're in that shelter and you're sharing that room, you're talking about how you're going to get out.
Yeah.
And what you're going to do next, right? And that's the person who was there with you when you went through your lowest time in your life, right? The two of you don't want to be in court suing each other.
No.
So resolve this issue, but pay the $300 you owe on the security deposit and the rest of the household bills. There's a dispute there. You all work it out. But the $300 for the security deposit, I'm ordering you to pay that.
Thank you.
Good luck to both of you.
Thanks.
There's going to be troubles and things that come up in life, and you just don't throw it away over stuff like this.
I love you.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.